Welcome back to episode 156 of the ATD Baseball Podcast. Um, Hopefully, everybody had a good Thanksgiving. I certainly did. I ate like a pig, like I always do, so that didn't change. But hopefully, everybody had a good week. I know everybody's probably a little sluggish this week, especially after the long weekend, but it's all right. We'll be okay. We'll get back on the ball here a little bit. But um, we actually have topics that we want to discuss today. We got a big signing, of course, with Dylan C. So we got a couple trades, and one of the worst contracts in MLB history is finally coming off the books here a little bit, maybe. But before we get into everything, gotta ask Kyle how he's doing. And if you're watching on YouTube, he's got a gorgeous background behind him. It's fantastic. He's got the shoes, he's got baseballs, bobbleheads, he's got everything. So Kyle, how are you doing today? Seems like you put yourself to work over the weekend a little bit behind you.
Oh, absolutely, man. I'm doing pretty good, man. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I know I did, and I mentioned to you, I don't think I ate that much, and dude, so long. It's been forever. But yeah, no, I'm a teacher, so I had off. I had off for a good chunk of time, like 5 6 days, something like that, and for me. I'm learning a lot about myself here. I really am. And one of the big things that I'm learning about myself is that I don't know how to function on days off, man. I everybody has their normal routine and things like that, but for me, I work 5 days a week, and then I have off on the weekends, obviously. Um, but it's a pain in the ass when you're on a break, man, and you just don't know what to do with yourself. And a lot of people are probably like, yo, Kyle, like I wish I had that time off. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate it very much. But after a little while, man, there's just I got to do something, right? I can't just sit still. So this was one of the things. This has been planned on for a long time now, but I finally, worked worked up to it, and I moved my podcast background to a new location. So I'm now in my basement.
He's got
Um,
the Death Star behind him.
absolutely, yes. I Yeah, no, and Melo, you can attest to this. This basement has been a work in progress for quite some time since I moved in here, and I'm finally down here where I wanted to be to start. So yeah, no, for sure. I got the shoes that Melo was so gracious to give us. It's a custom set of Air Force Ones,
Heck
ATD
yeah.
edition. We got my absolute prince, my king right here in Judge. And then just to throw a curveball into this, got autograph OCU Minora Super Bowl 42
Yeah.
ball. Come on now. But yeah, man, it's way too much money behind me, and I'm not even gonna get into that. So to answer your question, man, I'm doing
It's all
good. How are
right.
you?
We'll get Forbes in here. It's all right. We'll get them. So
Way too much. That's where I'll leave it. How are you doing, man?
uh I'm doing well. Had a good Thanksgiving. Watched watched a lot of sports.
Oh yeah.
NBA, NFL, college. It was good. It was good. I hadn't really seen my family since the end of the season. So I walk in there, fucking Dodgers, man. Yeah, no, and obviously I was more than happy to have that discussion, but I keep forgetting like, oh, you haven't seen some of your family since then.
Yeah.
It was crazy, but yeah, ate well. Hope everyone else did, and I have to mention this because it's I watched it again today, and I believe me, trust me, I knew that it has been a month already. It has been 1 month to the day. Oh, when the Dodgers repeated as your world champions. I watched it again this morning, some of the highlights. I started crying again. I started tearing up. I'm like, damn, man, like I can't believe it's already been a month since this team did it, and I got all the stuff now. I got all kinds of stuff now. So, um, still can't believe they won. I think I'm gonna keep saying that until we get to opening day next year. But it was a fun weekend. Really didn't do much outside of Thursday. Honestly, I think that see, this is where um, Kyle and I are maybe a little bit different. Like I enjoy sometimes not doing anything, which honestly can kind of make me get lazy. with other stuff around the house and in my life. But I like sometimes I don't mind just you know what? I don't have to do anything today. I'm completely fine with that. But
Yeah.
some days I do have to push myself, and Friday I had to push myself. Got the Christmas tree. I got a real one, so very much looking forward to that. My mom, thankfully, she's still like into the Christmas spirit, even though like my brother and I were not like, yeah, exactly. A round of applause for her, because even though like we're not, it's no secret, like we're not kids anymore. Like we're not like, oh my god, is Santa coming? Like we're not doing that anymore. Like it's pretty much my mom. Even my mom's all right. What do you guys want for Christmas this year?
Mhm.
Like she's not kind of holding anything secretive or anything. So, but I like that she's still into the Christmas spirit. We got the tree up and put the lights on. Haven't done the ornaments yet. Probably gonna do that later this week. But to answer your question, doing great, doing fantastic, and yeah, let's keep rolling on with the off season here that has continued to go by slow. This is I don't it can't just be me. Like this off season, and I know we're only a month into it, but it feels like there hasn't been anything
No,
outside of like Josh Naylor, and of course we're gonna mention Dylan Cease here in a second. But it has real quick before we get into this. Actually, two things. Number one, um, and this is completely way off topic here, but I gotta ask you, what time did you eat Thanksgiving on Thursday? What time did you guys eat?
yeah, it's a great question. It's 12:30, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Oh my god.
And how
Yeah,
about you, man?
5:30.
Ooh, that's crazy,
I
man.
was starving. I was fucking starving.
I
You know.
bet, dude.
Now let me ask you, did you have anything in the well, you ate so early, so did
Yeah.
you eat anything in the morning beforehand?
No, no, I couldn't because I'm not somebody who can like just like I'm more of a grazer, right? So I'll eat like a little bit and then right after dinner, like I'm half hour, 45 minutes later, I'm like, yo, what the fuck's in my snack closet, you know? But but no, I think like for me, like I skipped breakfast and then I went straight to the meal that we had. So yeah, no, to answer your question, no, I didn't eat.
Okay, just asking. Yeah, cuz I mean, well, it's different. Like because you guys ate so early, anyways. But the rookie mistake that people make is that you gotta eat something in the morning because then when you're on Thanksgiving, you gotta eat something in the morning because if you don't, then your stomach shrinks. So
Mm,
when you're ready to eat your meal, your feast on Thanksgiving Day, your stomach shrinks because you haven't had anything to eat all morning. So when you get halfway through your meal, it's like, fuck, I'm already full and I've just barely had this plate. But it's like, so what you gotta do, you gotta eat a little something in the morning. I'm not saying freaking make freaking pancakes, eggs, and toast and everything like that. I'm not saying that, but like maybe a nice little bowl of cereal or something, or a shake, a protein shake or something, just something to get your stomach going. So when you're ready to hit it Thanksgiving night or afternoon, whenever you eat, you'll be ready to go. But anyways, we're done with Thanksgiving here. Number two, is this not since I guess yes and no. Is this like the longest off season already? Like it just feels like this off season is starting to drag, just because there hasn't been any major moves yet. I know we had um Naylor and we had Dylan Cease, so we've had a couple other moves, but there really hasn't been like anything crazy yet. And we're basically a month into the off season already. I don't know. To me, it feels like this is going a little too slow.
yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. This off season it's a little bit different from others for me. Like I don't know what it is either, right? There's just something like usually there's a bunch like obviously I follow the Yankees to a T and there just hasn't been much, man. You know, Brian Houk, Jack Curry, the big reporters for the Yankees, you haven't heard anything. Dude, I feel like, you know, it's just been like a ghost town in the off season and this season a little bit more than others. I've been getting into the other sports a little bit just to pass the time and I'm glad I have, man. Because I'll tell you one thing, it's like Hal Steinbrenner, he had his GM conference and or I'm sorry, he had his own conference talking about, you know, where the team's at, what the plan is in the off season
How
that's a
much money
conversation.
I don't have.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a conversation for another time. But other than that, man, it's been the awards that has sucked me back into baseball more than anything, man. And obviously, we'll talk about Dylan Cease, but that's been it's been kind of the highlight of the offseason. There hasn't been much rumblings, and usually, like Twitter, if you guys are familiar with Twitter, man, like there's rumblings everywhere. Every single team you can find something on, and there's not much of that. It's just been a ghost town, and it kind of sucks, man, because it's just one of those things where I just want baseball back, and obviously, we'll have spring training coming up, and next week we have the winter meetings, so that's huge. That's going to be a big plus for us. But if you look at the other major sports, I always go back to the NBA deadline, right? The trade deadline. It is nuts, man. It goes ballistic. And like all the other off seasons, I feel like there's just more buzz, there's more media coverage and things like that. And for baseball, man, it's just been, like I said, the best way I could describe it is a ghost town. And I also I can't help but think the big lingering thing here is next year's CBA. I'm telling you, man, every single, like, when Trent Grisham signed back with the Yankees and he accepted his qualifying offer, immediately people went straight to the CBA of next year. Well, he doesn't want a long term deal, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, dude, like, we have a year. Let us enjoy the rest of this year. But I feel like this CBA, man, it's going to be a big topic of conversation this year. It kind of downs everything, but um, long story short, yeah, no, I totally agree with you, man. This off season's been a drag.
And man, I was trying to segue into here. Uh, well, let's discuss probably the first big major signing of the offseason. Dylan Cease, um, going north of the border to the Toronto Blue Jays. How about it? 7 years, $210 million, and um, I know Kyle and I immediately mentioned it because we text each other immediately when it happened. This is an overpay.
Hmm.
This is an overpay. I'm sorry. Like, I understand that he's gonna make 30 to 35 starts a year, which is good. That's what you want. There's not many pitchers that do that anymore. But as a guy who saw a lot of Padres games and a lot of Dylan Cease starts from afar, to give a guy $30 million like that, I just I don't agree with it. Now, I understand that the Blue Jays are probably going to have to overpay to get a guy like Dylan Cease or some of these free agents, just for the simple fact that they don't play in the United States. And I understand maybe some people don't want to go to another country, don't want to play in a new. I get all that, but um, I still think, now, on one hand, I'm glad the Blue Jays are being aggressive and they're going for it here, and they should be, because I heard from a lot of Blue Jays fans during this World Series run, and particularly in the World Series against my team, that they were trying to play themselves off as, oh, we're just this, gritty, no money spending team that's, just happy to be here. And, we're not the big bad Dodgers where we spend all this money. You had the fifth highest payroll in the sport this year. Give me a break. And you just gave Vladdy a massive extension, and now you're making Dylan Cease one of the highest paid pitchers in this sport at like somewhere like around a 30 million AAV. But I get it for both. I get it for the Blue Jays, and I get why people are saying it's an overpay, and I agree with that as well. But um, for the Blue Jays, this was something you had to address. Starting pitching was something you had to address. Um, and for the Blue Jays, I think if you're a Blue Jay fan, this is the first big step. And I told you right when the off season started. I believe it was like the first episode after the World Series. I was so fascinated to see what the Blue Jays were going to do this off season, because there was two roads that they could have taken. They could have taken, hey, you know what? We won our first pennant in 30 something years. Yeah, we had this like kind of magical season, but let's continue to build on it. Let's go out and get a big time starting pitcher. Let's go out and make a run at Kyle Tucker. Let's extend Bo Bichette. And first of all, and they've been able to get their starter. And they also could have gone the other way where it's like, hey, you know what? Like, this was a great story, but we don't believe this is sustainable. Like, yeah, we'll continue to make offers to these big free agents, but we're not going to overspend it. We're not really going to go for it. And seems like so far early on in this offseason, the Blue Jays are hoping and thinking that 2025 was not a fluke, that this could be sustainable and they can go for it again next year. So I get it. For the Blue Jay side, I just think this is an overpay.
Yeah, I'm gonna double down on what you said, man. It is an overpay. That's exactly what it is. Listen, I might be in the minority here, but I don't get the hype around Dylan Cease, man. His years in Chicago, it was decent, subpar at most. This is a guy who he's had one great year in his career, and he had a solid one in 2024. Don't get me wrong. You know, he pitched very well. He finished fourth in Cy Young voting, in 24. He
He had a no
had
hitter.
Yeah, he had a no hitter. He finished second in Cy Young voting in 2022, which is the year that I'm talking about, right? In 2022, he pitched to a 2.20 ERA. That is ridiculous. Props to him, man. Other than that, man, 3.50 and above in the last. Honestly, man, dude. He's got more 4+ ERA seasons than he does not. That's I'm sorry, man. 30 million a year for that? That's crazy. I mean, now don't get me wrong, if the Blue Jays didn't do it, somebody else was going to. This guy, I mean, that's the type of contract he was going to get. That's welcome to baseball in 2025. That's just how it is. Now, I'm not dogging on Dylan Cease. He's a starter, like you said. He will give you the starts that he needs. 30+ game starter in the last 5 seasons, which is huge. That's exactly what you want. He's a 16.8 WAR for his career. I mean, he's had a decent career. He's put it together. He's finished in Cy Young voting a couple times. He's a good pitcher, man. But you know, when it comes down to it, this price tag, I mean, it's wild. It is crazy to me, and I that's not something that I can get over. You know, you look at Dylan Cease. His line last year. Okay, let's just go from here. 8-12 record. He had a 400 win loss percentage. 4.55 ERA. It was statistically his second worst year in his career, and he bagged a 7-year deal with 30 million AAV. That's wild. That is crazy to me. He's 29. This contract he'll if everything goes as planned, he'll likely finish his career off with Toronto. Um, but when you're looking at the rotation as a whole, um, what's projected? You have Kevin Gosman at the top of the rotation. I'm guessing Dylan C slides in at number two. Trey Savage, Shane Bieber. Yeah, it's a good little rotation that they got going up there. Don't get me wrong. It's a deal that I feel like the Blue Jays had to make to get some help behind Kevin Gosman, and now with the standout of Trey Savage, you know we'll see if he can continue that next year. But but overall, yeah, I feel like the Blue Jays had to make some kind of move to the pitching rotation, get a top of the line starter in there to pair with Kevin Gosman, a guy who has experience, um, and pitching wins championships, man. And who knows, maybe Dylan Cease will turn it around and be what he was in Chicago and just absolutely take off. And that's exactly what Toronto needs. But yeah, no, overall, I think the best way I can put it is the Blue Jays had to make a deal like this, and they were the ones to do it. So we'll see how it pans out. But man, that contract does not look good as of right now.
Yeah, and part of it too is like this free agent pitching starting pitching class is not that great this year, anyways.
Mm-mm.
Cease. You got Valdez in there. You got Ranger. Nick Martinez, Chris Bassett, Michael King. He's coming off injuries. Zach Gallen. Like just guys like that. It's not a great starting pitching class compared to other years, but
If you would have told me
again,
2 3 years ago, that would be a hell of a
right.
hell of a rotation there of guys who are free agents.
And we've seen this in other years past, and there's no reason to believe that this is not going to continue this offseason. Giving Dylan Cease a 7 year, 210, whatever it is, 215, whatever it is, contract, he sets the market for these other starting pitchers.
Yep.
And this is why you never want to be first, because
Hmm.
then you kind of reset, or you start, you know, where these guys, like, what, like, if Dylan Cease is gonna get 200 million dollars for over 7 years, and you mentioned his stats, what is Ranger Suarez gonna ask for?
Who
And
is
he
the
had a
best
pretty,
pitcher? He's the best
right,
pitcher in this
he's the
class.
best pitcher in this free agent class, who had a damn good season. I think, wasn't he like a top 5 Cy Young finish, I think, this year, something
I
like that.
believe so. Yeah.
So, what, and he was 12-8. He had a 3.20 ERA. He had 150 strikeouts. Like, well, what is Ranger Suarez gonna ask for? If Dylan Cease is getting 210, and again, I saw this firsthand. I would be nervous giving the ball to Dylan Cease in a big game like that, like in a big game.
Oh yeah.
I would be nervous, and you saw it particularly in 24 against my Dodgers. He had the game one start. They had the lead, and then he gave up the 3-run home run to Otani, and then he tried to come back on 4 days rest. Padres up 2-1. Dodgers throwing out a bullpen game, and he couldn't even get out of the third inning. Like, I would be nervous, throwing out Dylan Cease. Now, does not have to be the ace of this team, in my opinion, but for the money that he's making, or that he's gonna be making beginning next year, he's gonna have to pitch like one. And I made the graphic, you know, over the last week when he got announced that he was signing with the Blue Jays. Doesn't hit well. He doesn't pitch well against American League East teams. He has a 5.34 ERA against the Yankees. He has a six. He has a 6 ERA against the Red Sox, a 5.23 against the Rays. Like, he's gonna go to that gauntlet of a division, and statistically, his numbers do not favor him when he does match up with those teams in that division. So that's something to keep an eye on. But hey, I mean, again, I don't want to lose sight of this. Props to the Blue Jays for going for this, and understanding that they believe that they have a team that can sustain success. So I want to applaud them for that. And again, now I think this got lost under the rug a little bit. There was deferrals in there.
Hmm.
So are we okay with that? Or is it a problem when my team does it? So where's the same outrage for the Blue Jays adding deferrals on this contract? Now I know what people are gonna say, oh well, the Dodgers, they deferred like $1 million worth of money. Well, I want to applaud the Blue Jays for standing up and being, what, we could defer money too. And that's what we're gonna do with Dylan Cease. I don't know how much, and I don't know for how long, but um, yeah, deferrals are still in play here, and I know a lot of people are probably not gonna like this, but I commend the Blue Jays for doing that. Shout out to them, and who knows, maybe they're still in play for Kyle Tucker here, because I when we made these predictions, I said Tucker to the Blue Jays.
Hmm.
I would like to think he's still in play here even after this.
Yeah, no, I think he has to be, right. I mean, I don't know what the future holds with Bo Bichette, but also remembering that Rogers Communication is now the majority owner of this team. Um, that is a huge boost in payroll. I mean, you have a whole entire country behind you here, and you have a whole communication business literally forking out this money. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. You got to try to bring back Bo Bichette, and you got to try to get Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker's market is kind of all over the place right now. I've been hearing the Dodgers. You have to think the
No
Mets are in
thanks.
there. You you have to think the Blue Jays are in there. You like these are big teams that are willing to spend that type of money, and coming off a World Series appearance, I mean, I wish the Yankees did more. in their in their offseason after a World Series appearance, and I got to think that the Blue Jays are going to do so. So I have to think Kyle Tucker's in play here. I do.
Um, moving on to the next topic here. This news broke in the middle of the week last week, and it kind of took everybody by surprise. Of course, he was going into this season on the final year of that massive mistake of a contract that the Angels gave him in the winter of 2019. Um, the news dropped from Alden Gonzalez, that they are looking to buying out his final year of his deal, and then um he and then Anthony Rendon is just gonna retire. That shocked me. Now, it doesn't shock me that he's retiring, because I think that was on the table a long time ago. I'm actually surprised the Angels are just trying to buy out his contract. I think that was the thing that threw me off. I think he still owed like 36 million dollars this year, I think, if I'm not mistaken. That's a
Hmm.
massive That's a massive payout to somebody that hasn't done shit for you since he got to this team in 2019. But um, I can't make the jokes anymore about the Angels, so this sucks. This kind of hurt me when I saw that. I'm like, damn it, I can't make fun of them for that anymore. But um, what a huge mistake! What a huge mistake! And I don't know if you went through our comments when we posted that. There was a lot of people that were calling him all kinds of names in there. Loser, bum. He's still in the league. What a douche. Like, hallelujah. You got one Angel fan in there all excited. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm surprised not by him wanting to retire, because we did hear the comment a couple years ago. I think it was during spring training that, baseball is not number one for him. And he was actually one of the guys that was in favor of playing less games, too.
Hmm.
So, like having the schedule not 162 games. So it's very clear that baseball was not his number one priority. But um, how about that? The Angels actually making a decent decision here. So
Yeah, yeah, this is a great decision from the Angels front office. I mean,
still suck though.
yeah, this contract was a joke from the beginning, man. 7 years, 245 million. This guy
Jesus.
played, dude. He played a total of 257 games with with the Angels with this club. Um, yeah, what a joke, man. He
That's
per
that's
million.
barely like 2 seasons, I think.
Yeah, barely. And per million of his contract almost added up to the games that he played in a Angels uniform. Contract was 245, he played 257 games. That's crazy. That's wild. Dude, in his 5 years with Anaheim, he slashed 242, 348, 369 with an OPS of 717. Um in 2020, he finished 10th in the MVP voting. And remember, that was the COVID year, so it was shortened. Um, that was his one and only accolade with the Angels. Um, I mean, home runs, dude. He hit 22 home runs in an Angel uniform, 125 RBIs, 10 stolen bases. This is a slash line that is an average baseball player, maybe who had a little bit more pop with the bat with the 22 homers. This is a slash line from a season of a decent player. It's the contract was terrible. And like I mean he played very well in a national uniform. Like we got to remember that 2019 season slash 319, 412, 598 with over 1,000 OPS. I mean that was by far his best season, and hey, he got paid for it. Um, Man, what a disaster of a contract. We'll put it that way. It wasn't great, man. This is probably the best move for both parties. Anthony Rendon gets to move on to the next chapter of his life, and the Angels get to move on from this horrendous contract, and their fans finally have something to be excited about. Well, that is, of course, until they give out another one of these contracts, and it's like a never-ending thing with the Angels. It seems. I hope that this was a lesson learned from the Angels, and it's
It
something that
won't
they
be.
can probably not, but maybe it's something that they can kind of move forward from. First, we had Pujols, and now we have Rendon, and I'll be honest with you, man, that that Mike Trout contract's not looking the greatest either. But
Yeah, there we go.
um,
Yeah, there we go. That's what I want to fucking hear. At a baby, Kyle. I love it. I love it. Fucking right,
so-
it isn't.
I don't know, man. Maybe it means that they'll be a little bit more conservative with their money and figure out where to go from there. But since we're talking money so much, let me tell you something. That
Touchy.
graphic that we
Oh,
did that graphic that we did, man. One, two, three, four, five, six. Seventh richest owner in all of baseball. It's Artie Moreno. 4.9 billion this guy's worth.
sell
So
the team.
hey, it's got to be something, man. You know, it's got to be. So I don't know. We'll see where it goes from here, but it's very clear that this was the best decision for both sides, and I hope the Angels can learn from this. But we'll see.
Well, we're never gonna see Anthony Rendon ever again, right?
I
Like
can't.
I would be shocked if you saw him like on MLB Network or ESPN breaking down.
It was a
We're
rough
not gonna
5 years,
see this guy
man.
ever again.
I don't think so. And the times that he was in the limelight again, it wasn't about his play on the field. It was everything off the field, man. Number one, he couldn't stay healthy. Number two, his comments about shortening the season and baseball not being a priority. And then that fan altercation that we can't forget about either. I mean,
Right.
he had a guy from his neck, man. You know, like everything that we've seen out of Anthony Rendon since being in Anaheim has been negative. I got to think that this has to be the last time, man. You know, I mean, if he plans on retiring, it's pretty much just a matter of fine details, right? The Angels finalizing the buyout, Anthony Rendon finalizing his career in baseball and moving on to the next chapter, which like I said, man, I think it's definitely in the best interest of both parties. But yeah, to answer your question, no, I think this is it for Anthony Rendon. I don't see him being an analyst. I don't see him going in and dissecting swings like Sean Casey does on MLB Network or things like that. So, or Harold Baines, I don't see it. I really don't.
You don't see him coming back and throwing out the first pitch or something. No, I'm just
Hell no, man.
kidding.
There's no world. Maybe
Yeah,
in a
I
national team.
agree. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. People forget that he won. He was on that World Series team
He
that
was
won, and
nice
he
and
actually had a good postseason too, which
he
is
was
why
nice.
he got paid.
Yeah.
And I think I came on here when I first got to ATD, and I said he got that contract because of that postseason,
Oh,
and people
absolutely.
called me an idiot. People called me an idiot for that. So I was right again. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
back and find that now. Shit, I'm gonna have to look deep in the archives for that one.
Oh my
That's
God,
like
yeah, dude.
2021, I think.
That episode might not even be up anymore.
I think you're right on that. Actually, I have to go back and look. But yeah. So and happy retirement, Anthony Rendon. I guess so. At least I know he's gonna be happy. I guess doesn't seem like he
Yeah.
was happy playing baseball. So whatever he does next, good luck to him. And it seems like whatever he's gonna do is gonna be he's gonna be way happier than playing baseball. So
Yeah. I have to think. Yeah.
all right, Ryan Helsley signs with the O's. This was a candidate that the Dodgers were interested in. Um, never really made any kind of traction, but uh, Baltimore Orioles kind of getting some help with their bullpen, and again trying to get the contract up here. 2 years, 28 million with the Baltimore Orioles. Very movable contract. If the Orioles, I mean, I think they're not going to be any good next year, but who knows? Um, this is definitely when I see stuff like this, I automatically think um, is this a movable contract? And my answer is yes. If he the Orioles have a bad season, but Ryan Helsley pitches well, I think he's a candidate. He's an early candidate to get moved at the 2026 trade deadline next July to help a contending team. And I know the Dodgers are interested, but God, it sounds like they're gonna go get freaking Devin Williams or Edwin Diaz. But I'm not big on that. But we're not
Look at
talking about the Dodgers here. I don't think so. Yeah, Ryan Helsley to the Baltimore Orioles, and he's now in your division.
he
So
is.
you're gonna see him in some big spots at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, man, we'll see. Yeah, to kind of just touch on this a little bit. I don't really have too many thoughts on this. I mean, Ryan Helsley, he was nice in St. Louis, man. He really was. He was regarded as one of the top closers in baseball. He had a nice little career with St. Louis. Um, Pitched to a 2.67 ERA, man. I mean, you'll kill for that out of the back end of your bullpen, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, I mean, he's a reliever. 105 saves in his career. I I don't have much here, man. I mean, I'll talk about the contract a little bit. I mean, you said it was what 28 million over 2 years.
Yeah, two
Okay,
years, 28 million.
so yeah, he's making 14 million a year. It is a movable contract. I don't like that high price tag for a reliever. However, you got to remember this guy has high upside, right? He's a guy who was amazing in St. Louis. He had a really rough second half with the Mets, but I mean, he pitched 7 years in St. Louis before going over to the Mets. I mean, that could just be a mind thing. This guy, I mean, the talent's there, right? So 14 million for a closer or a long reliever with a high upside. I mean, 14 million, that's what you got to pay, right? I just I don't know, man. It's a contract that I don't really like the amount that you're paying to a reliever slash closer, but it's a short term deal. It's 2 years at most. And yeah, it's movable. And this is already one of the names that I'm thinking about next season when we are having the discussion about the trade deadline. I don't see the O's doing anything crazy this offseason. I don't see them being great next year. So for Ryan Helsley, I think it's a perfect situation to be in, right? So you're making 14 million a year over 2 years, and you're put in a situation where there's not going to be a lot of high moments. I don't think. Um, so for him, you kind of take this year or two um, to kind of get back to your game and find that talent that you had in St. Louis. And then for the Orioles, it's the same thing, man. You're getting a reliever with high upside. Um, but yeah, and who knows? I mean, after he's locked in for the CBA at least, right? So he's got the 2 year deal, and then after that, we don't know what these contracts are going to look like. But if anything follows suit from the previous years, I mean, look at Edwin Diaz's contract. Look what Devin Williams was going to get paid if he would have put it together and actually pitch well in New York. The relievers are making good money nowadays, and for a guy like Ryan Helsley, I think he can be right up there if he just gets back to his game a little bit. So props to him. I mean, I think it's a pretty good deal. 2 year, 28 million. And for the Orioles, I mean, you needed the help, right? Felix Bautista. I don't know what's going on with him. You have Yarner Cano at the end of that bullpen. But other than that, man, there's not many names that stick out. So I mean, you have Dean Kramer, who's kind of that swingman for you, but for a guy like Ryan Helsley, high upside and it's a low risk, high reward for the Orioles in this situation. So I like the deal overall. It's good for both sides.
Absolutely, and again, I think I just mentioned it a second ago, but if Ryan Helsley wants to go to a contender, all he has to do is pitch well.
Yeah,
And if the Orioles are not going to be any good, he's going to get traded at the deadline.
absolutely.
So um, we'll see. I do think Ryan Helsley will be with another team by the end of next season, but we'll see. You never know. Maybe the Orioles will surprise us a little bit. But final topic here. How about the Red Sox getting some starting pitching help? Sonny Gray to the Boston Red Sox from the St. Louis Cardinals. I love this trade, and it showed, it reared its ugly head in the wild card series against the Yankees, that the Red Sox needed a number two, a real number two. Um, I like this trade. Sonny Gray can fit right into the two spot behind Garrett Crochet. Doesn't have to be the ace. He can be the good number two or number three. Um, had over 30 starts last season. 14-8. Very good. I like this move. I really do. Got to get the ERA down a little bit. He had a 4.28 last year. If he can just shave off a run off of that, that's going to be very good for the Red Sox. But um, I know there's probably a lot of Red Sox fans that, again, are probably not going to be happy when the Red Sox don't spend a ton of money this offseason. I hope they do, but this is a good trade for them. It gives them it solidifies a 1-2 punch with Crochet and Sonny Gray at the top of the rotation, and you saw that in the wild card series, man. Like they did, the Red Sox won Game 1 with Crochet, and then they lost the next two nights, and the Yankees moved on to the next round. So I'm glad the Red Sox are addressing one of their needs, which is starting pitching, and I hope this is not the last big move that they do. I hope they're still involved in some of these free agents. I hope they go out and maybe get another starter. But um, when I first saw it, I like this move for the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I was also a fan of this deal for Boston. Sonny Gray, I mean, he's a veteran, man. I mean, he's a guy who's been around the game for quite some time. I'm very familiar with Sonny Gray. He's pitched in the American League for most of his career. He's pitched on my Yankees, against my Yankees a bunch of times as well. 2023 to stick out in his time in Minnesota. Um, yeah, no, I mean, you're getting a starter, right? That's the best way I can put this. You're getting a guy he's been around the game for a long time. He's an innings eater. He will give you 100 and he'll give you 175 innings a year, maybe even more, depending on what kind of year he's having. Last year he pitched 180, some of the most in his career. Now he is coming off of a down year. Statistically, it's one of his worst years in his career.
Yeah,
He pitched to a 4.28 ERA. He started 32 games though. That's a big thing. He did give up the most amount of homers last year in his career. He gave up 25 homers, um, a total of 86 earned runs. I mean, there's not really much you can say. I mean, this guy, he's 36 years old, man, and he got that last big payday with the Cardinals, and he's a veteran. Do I like him as a number two in the rotation? No. But do I like him better? Do I like the Red Sox rotation better than I did last year? Now I do. Yeah. Um, Dylan Cease was a guy who I had penciled in for Boston. I'm not gonna lie. Dylan Cease is where I thought. I'm sorry. Boston is where I thought Dylan Cease would be. However, that's not the move, and you now have to pivot. I do want to see another top of the line starter paired with Gray or Crochet. I don't like I said, I'm not a big fan of Sonny Gray as your number two. However, he is a guy who you can pencil in and know he'll make his start every fifth day, and sometimes that's just more important. If I'm being honest with you, um, so overall, it's one of those low risk, high rewards for Boston, right? And for Sonny Gray, he's getting his money either way, so it really doesn't matter. But for Boston, and I mean, I they have to have a big offseason, man. I'm sorry, like I don't see where you can just nickel and dime your way to the the wild card again. Um, they have a good lineup. Just add some pitching, kind of move some things around in that lineup a little bit, address the bullpen where needed, and I think Boston can be a pretty good team. We were high on Boston last year, and depending on what they do, maybe I will be again. But as of right now, I like Sonny Gray. I like this move, but keep going, please, for the sake of Boston fans. And now, I'm definitely taking my Yankee hat off for that one, but
yeah, wow,
for the sake of Boston fans, and because I mean, the one thing I have to say about Boston fans, they're diehards, man, and give them what they want. Come on. Please. It makes the sport better when these teams are better. When there's a good Yankees and Red Sox rivalry, it makes the sport better. And it's kind of the same with the Giants and the Dodgers in your sake. The sport's better when these big market teams are playing high at a very high level. So for the sake of Boston, man, just have a good off season, please. I mean, you're coming off an off a year where you traded your star third baseman. That didn't work out. There was so much drama. But kind of just dialing back into Sonny Gray here. It's a good move for Boston. Just please don't make it be the last move that you make. And for Sonny Gray, he's going into somewhere where he's going to get the ball every fifth day. So he still has a job, and he's going to be expected to do it at a high level. Which he's only 2 years removed from that runner-up Cy Young season. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, good move for Boston.
There you have it. Uh, unless you got anything else, I think that's it.
I don't think so, man. I think that's it.
It's December 1st.
It is. It is. Winter meetings next week. Should be. Yeah, right? Next week.
I think it's this weekend. Yeah, next week.
Yeah. Yep. That's that'll be something to look forward to. We'll definitely have some coverage on that. And we'll see where it goes. But yeah, this off season needs to hurry up, man. It really does.
When you saw the 20.3%, did that like surprise you a little bit, or that just like I didn't need to see that? That did not help at all. Like that just made it slower.
I I don't think surprised. It's not a surprising number, but I think the big word is perspective, right? So we just go through the ebbs and flows of the off season, and then when you see something like that, it really puts it in perspective how short this off season has gone. I mean, that's not what you want. You want a full bar there. You want to get to opening day. You want to get to spring training. You want to see what your team did in the off season. It's dude. I mean, whenever you play franchise mode on MLB The Show, do you ever go through the off season or do you just skip it? I mean,
You
obviously,
skip it.
that's what I'm saying. Maybe you'll get the pop up that one of the free agents signed with a big team or whatever it is, but you just skip it. You go straight to spring training, and then you put force trades on, and then you stack up your fucking team. No, I'm kidding, but that's kind of the point, man. I think the big thing is perspective for sure. Seeing how low that bar was kind of put a damper on my day. I'm not gonna lie, but it was a good post. I
All
like
right,
it.
my bad.
No, no, man. It was a good post. I like it. But yeah, it definitely put it into perspective that we're not that far into it, man.
I gotta show this before we get out of here real quick. Of course, Kyle's been seeing it, but I've been getting all the baseball cards from the World Series.
Mm.
I got this over the weekend, and it was so cool that I have it. Of course, with tonight being 1 month, I got Miguel
Uh,
Rojas, baby. One of the biggest home runs in Dodger history, and I have the Tops Now baseball cards. So along with a bunch of others, but I'm not gonna go through them because they will be here all night. But
I'm waiting for my Aaron Judge MVP one to come in.
yes, there you go.
I
There
did
you go.
invest.
Nice. I know. I was thinking about getting a Shohei, but I was like, I'll just get next year.
Eh,
So when did I get next year?
fuck it, right?
Yeah.
Fuck it.
I
We're
got I got his NLCS MVP.
oh yeah,
I got
we're
that
back to
one.
back
Yeah.
champs over here, right? Fucking MVP.
Yeah. 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 Fuck that. I don't need MVP cards. I got the ultimate prize.
Yeah,
I
there
got
you
the
go.
ultimate prize right here. Oh,
It's
oh,
understandable. I get
I gotta polish this again soon. I haven't done it in a while. So
it. Oh man,
I haven't been to Dodger Stadium since the parade. I'm actually getting withdrawals.
understandable. I get it. I mean, you spent all season there, man.
I'm getting withdrawals now. I gotta go there to maybe. I'm probably gonna have to go there anyway soon. So
Mm.
I'm gonna have to do some Christmas shopping coming up here.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah, I miss Dodger Stadium. I miss it.
yeah, I get it,
I'm
man.
getting
I
bored. I'm getting
totally get
bored,
it.
man.
Board's a great dude. It's a great word, man. I'm telling you, there's only so many there's only so much basketball games I can watch. There's only so much football and and college football. But as much as I like those other sports, it's just there's nothing compares to baseball, man. I'm telling you. And this off season, man, it's really making me feel that. I'm telling you.
I get it. One step at a time. Every
Absolutely.
day we're a day closer. So
Absolutely. And one step closer, we have something to look forward to with the WBC. So that is helping.
absolutely.
It is helping.
Did you see the merch that came out?
I did. I did.
I'm not big on corduroy, so
Yeah.
or yeah, so I'm like, I think I'll
Yeah.
wait. But
I'm definitely gonna get something. I might
yeah, I'll
come
probably get something.
with that WBC jersey of Aaron Judge. I might. We'll see.
You should.
I know.
Now I got a Mike Trout one, which
Mhm.
my dad was like, "What'd you get Mike Trout for?" Like, what you could got Mookie. Like, but I was like, well, I don't know if Mike Trout's gonna play in this again, And
Yeah.
Mike Trout, I know I dumped on him like 20 minutes ago, but he is like one of the best players that I've ever seen of
Oh yeah.
of our generation. So it's
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
it's
There's a
just like
yeah.
yeah.
There's a level
and
of
I and
respect that comes with it.
right, there's a level of respect that comes with it. So as a guy who got the jersey, now it's been sitting in my closet. I've only worn it like a handful of times since. But because it's your guy and it's your favorite player,
Hmm.
you should do it. Actually, I'm gonna push you to
Yeah.
get it.
You're gonna push me to spend the
I'm gonna
200.
push you. Yeah, I'm gonna push you. Like, and you're gonna see. And this is when it's bad to know a person like me. Well, you know this too.
Yeah.
I know the difference between the replicas and the authentics. Most people
Yeah.
don't. So if I see you grab the replica one, maybe not on purpose. Maybe you're just doing it on accident. Just know that I'm gonna call you out for it.
Yeah. You're gonna tell me.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, why don't we look in the authentic ones over here that are like $500
Oh yeah.
you can probably get another PlayStation with. You know,
It's a quarter of my mortgage, man.
yeah, and your wife is gonna look at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, are you serious? Like, you're gonna help him pay for that, right? No, I'm not actually. You are going to. No, I'm just kidding.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta drag
So
her into it.
yeah. So if she gives me the evil eye at the Astros team store in March at the WBC, you know why.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure I'm sure it'll come up, but
Yeah. Like, don't ever invite him to our house again, bastard, bastard. And then Melo didn't walk out with anything. He didn't buy anything. He was just telling everybody else what to buy.
that is true. Yeah. But it's all good though. I think we've been on all these trips that we've taken, I think one of us have always been in that spot where we've been, we were the big spenders. I remember the first Hall of Fame year. Um,
Fucking right, I got that jersey.
yep.
And Matt looked at me like I had two heads on.
Dude, I thought Matt was gonna fucking explode. I was like, damn, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, you serious?
Mhm.
You know, but
I think
I
under
get
the
it.
right, yeah,
Everybody has to save everybody. And again, I'm not calling Matt cheap or anything like that. He's not
no,
cheap.
no,
Believe me. Should have seen his wedding. But um, everybody, like, I know everybody picks and chooses where they want to like go all out.
oh yeah,
You know, so everybody has their thing. And for what I learned from Matt, it was cars. So
yeah, that is true. Not me though. That's not me. But
yeah, look
that's
behind
where,
you,
yeah, exactly. There we go. And that's not even including anything in front of me, which is the majority of my basement. So
which I have seen.
yes, that you have. But yeah, no, we'll see, man. I just full circle here. I hope this all season keeps going and we'll be at the WBC before we know it. So
We're 1 month away from the end of 2025.
dude, that's fucking nuts, man. Nuts.
First
Crazy.
day of Christmas is here.
Yep.
So I'm just throwing this out in the universe now. Uh, Probably in a couple weeks as we get closer to the holidays, I will ask Kyle for his wish list for the
Oh yeah.
Yankees this offseason. And I'm very much looking forward to this. The last episode of 2025, we will have our New Year's resolutions for our teams going
We
into
will.
2026.
Yes.
So look
Ab-
out for that. But
Absolutely.
that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you for listening. We'll see you again next week. Adios.